And that's how I was saved by the speaking statue of Memnon. Call it the wind or what you will. The statue spoke. Believe it or not.
Oh, Robert. Sometimes your tales are too extravagant, even for me.
Just the same, Moche, it's true. I'm lucky I made it out of Egypt.
What did they want?
Not my autograph, I'll wager.
I'm glad you escaped. Life would be boring without you.
We both take pleasure where we find it, May. That's why we're so well suited to each other.
Yes, and New York is only a few hours away. Forget about those bad men. They're far behind you now.
What did the radiogram say?
The notes from his satchel were useless. We are not to kill him until we have the key.
May we find it soon.
It's open. Look there.
The King Cobra is gone.
Help! Help! Mr. Ripley, help me!
Mr. Ripley, quick! Only a bit of candle left.
Robert, do something!
The snake handling stick. The fools must have tossed it there after using it to bring the cobra in here.
Oh, well done! You've saved Feng Li and the snake.
We need the money that cobra brings in.
What happened, Feng Li?
Two very bad Chinese men forced their way in after closing time.
Chinese, eh? One small, wiry, the other very big, wearing glasses?
Yes, yes.
The men who stole my satchel in Egypt. What did they want?
Your file on the tomb of Shi Huangdi.
Shi Huangdi, China's first emperor.
So that's it. I've been researching the first emperor's tomb. This took me to Thebes seeking an archaeologist named Twelvetrees, but he was nowhere to be found. What put me on the scent was this letter from a Baron von Selum.
Who?
By all accounts, Master Lu was the wisest man in China during the first emperor's reign.
Why would these men be interested in the emperor's tomb?
Mei Chen, you were planning a visit to Peiping, weren't you?
Yes, to visit my grandmother. But I wasn't going until October.
October? Peiping in the spring. You don't want to miss it.
I know it's very pretty. I grew up there, but... Robert, wait.
We need more information about this Master Lu. The place to get it is the Hall of Classics at the Imperial School.
But why the urgency?
Someone's after the Emperor's seal locked in the tomb. Feng Li, put the cobra back in the case. Show the customers how you mesmerized it with your candle. Charge extra.
But Mr. Ripley, sir, where you go?
Posh Express office. From there, Peiping. Beautiful in the springtime.
I know, I grew up there too. But Mr. Ripley, you haven't seen new exhibits. Almost made a profit this month.
Oh, very well, Feng Li, but I mustn't tarry too long. The shadow of another great war hangs over the East. The Imperial Seal is a powerful talisman. It could be used to unite China under a single dictator like Hitler or Mussolini. We don't need another of those fellows.
Tomato shaped like human torso getting a bit ripe, Mr. Ripley.
We need more amazing exhibits, Feng Li. They're out there somewhere. I just have to find them. We need more amazing exhibits. They're out there somewhere. I just have to find them.
Big puffball getting a bit dusty. I clean.
28 pounds of fungus. Amazing.
It's no Empire State Building.
Tourists like it. This creature, long thought extinct, sports a single razor-sharp claw and 5 eyes. Pictures of oddities are all very well, but the real thing on display is what sells tickets. Pictures of oddities are all very well, but the real thing on display is what sells tickets. The sooner that case is filled again, the better. It's prominently displayed in our newspaper ads.
Cow has spot on it shaped exactly like map of Ireland.
Yes, remarkable.
Could also be New Jersey.
Scientists discovered hair grew on this mummy long after death. The Iron Maiden. Her embrace meant death to religious heretics in Germany. The ticket window. Ah, Elmo Azarius. Incredible man. Drives 20-penny nails into his nasal passages with a hammer and has never had a cold. I enjoy the New York high life, but it's always a relief to get back into my working togs. Evening, George.
Hiya, Mr. Ripley.
I'd like to book passage.
Sure thing, Mr. Ripley. Where you headed this time?
Peiping, George, for Mei Chen as well, as fast as you can get us there.
Yes, sir. When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Mr. Ripley, your account is empty again, sir. Will that be cash?
Of course, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Ripley. Have a swell trip.
The city feels different than when we were last here, doesn't it?
Yes, there's fear everywhere.
After we visit the Hall of Classics, go see your grandmother. Make sure she's okay.
I will.
Hello, Qianshu.
你好 ，Mr. Ripley. Welcome back. 你好 Mei Chen. 很高兴见到你们回来。
谢谢千树。
Any messages for me?
I'm saddened to say no.
I sent a radiogram to Baron von Seltsam that I was going after the Emerald Seal. From Auckland to Zanzibar, there's always a posh express office when you need it. The Forbidden City, home to the imperial family. Paping Opera, the Great Wall of China built by Shi Huangdi in only 15 years. Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen means heavenly peace. May it always remain a haven of heavenly peace in the dark days to come. From Auckland to Zanzibar, there's always a posh express office when you need it. From Auckland to Zanzibar, there's always a posh express. From Auckland to Zanzibar, there's always a posh express office when you need it. I'd like to buy some yuan. Thanks, Qianshu. Goodbye.
再见 ，Mr. Ripley. 再见 Mei Chen.
From everything I've seen since we landed, travel outside the city looks very difficult.
Yes, we'll need travel permits to get to Xian province. I'll work on it. The Hall of Classics.
What colossal cheek old Shi Huangdi declaring that China's history must start with him.
Emperors have colossal cheek, Robert. I think it's a requirement for the job.
You may be right. Luckily, when he ordered the past erased, he neglected the stone tablets in the Hall of Classics. Severed heads? What crime introduced those gentlemen to the executioner's axe?
The sign says, thieves.请问我们要知道里面要什么？
很多人都是那么说，但你一定要有通行证。
We need a pass to enter. It will take a while, I'm afraid.
You attend to it, May. But I wager I'll be greeting you from the inside when you return.
Please don't do anything foolish, Robert. Punishment is swift.
Don't worry, May. I won't stick my neck out. Too much. China, named after its first emperor, Qin Shi Huangdi. Do you speak English?
Help a poor soul.
You don't happen to have a pass to the Hall of Classics, do you?
Help a poor soul. Many thanks, many thanks. Help a poor soul.
broken wheel. Seven wooden spokes have broken from the wheel. Nothing but a bunch of apparently useless metal objects. But what's that? Could I look at that small amulet there? Goodness gracious, it's a Chinese rebus amulet. 2 musical stones joined by a disc. It's inscribed, "May you be assured double good fortune." That old amulet, could I buy it? I'm not a thief. I'm not a thief. She's holding her birdseed in a soldier's helmet from the Great War. I wonder how she comes to have it. I'll wager there's a story there. Beautiful day. Do you speak English? May I ask how you came by that helmet, madam? It obviously means a lot to her. You don't happen to have a pass to the Hall of Classics, do you? Perhaps I'll talk to you later, if I may. I served during the Great War. You may have it with pleasure. The language of the heart is universal. A low-hanging awning. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. Ah, May, what kept you?
Robert, how did you get in here?
Well, it took some doing, I confess. I gather you've obtained the necessary pass.
Yes.
Splendid. Returning will be much easier. I already have a sketch of this magnificent place. That must have fallen out of one of the holes when I pushed a spoke through. A silver butterfly. These were once used as currency in China. I wonder how long it lay in that hole forgotten.
The Shi tells of China's history up to the Han Dynasty. Of course, this is just a portion of it. Ah, Li Sao. In English, it is called Encountering Sorrow, a poetic story of a soul in torment because it cannot find what it is looking for. I know this poem well. These are excerpts from the Shi Qing, ancient Chinese poems that date back to the 10th century BC. The Analects of Confucius. My grandmother used to read from them when I was a young girl. These are Lao Tzu's famous writings on peace. To find peace, he says, one must manifest plainness, embrace simplicity, reduce selfishness, have few desires. These are more of Shi Qi, the records of the historian. These are more writings by Lao Tzu. These are early Chinese writings. These inscriptions were originally carved on bones and tortoise shells and were used for divinations performed for the kings of the Shang dynasty. These tell some of the earliest stories of Chinese history. More from the Analects of Confucius.
A bronze gong, a mallet to strike the gong. Do you speak English?
Certainly, sir. We welcome scholars from many lands to the Hall of Classics. Are you a scholar?
I guess you could say I'm a student of life.
A complex field of study.
You can say that again. You wouldn't believe some of the nooks and crannies of this world I find myself rooting about in.
And which is the Hall of Classics? A nook or a cranny?
Oh, neither. It is one of the great libraries of the world.
One? I know of no others.
None of that can come close to the magnificence of this place.
Indeed. How may I assist you in your study of life?
I'm interested in learning all I can of Master Lu.
The first emperor sent Master Lu across the world to search for the elixir of life.
Did he find the elixir of life?
The tomb of the first emperor, built by Master Lu, lies in the Xi'an province. Master Lu is also with his ancestors.
Huh. Guess not. What did Master Lu learn in his travels?
He studied many languages and systems of writing. On his return, he created a stone tablet with hieroglyphics or ideograms in 3 different scripts.
Do you know what they mean?
The tablet is believed to hold the secret of the first emperor's tomb. It is, as you may know, protected by deadly traps created by Master Lu. That is why, even after all these centuries, the tomb has never been opened. Unfortunately, none have been able to decipher the tablet.
Why would Lu have made it so difficult? Was there no one he trusted?
The Emperor's seal is a talisman of great power. Master Lu felt that the world of his day was too troubled to use such power wisely. It was his hope that one day all peoples would be united in peace and harmony. The shared knowledge of such a global union would be the key to unlocking the tomb.
Where did Master Lu go?
It is said he visited Sikkim and an island in the Pacific with great stone heads.
Easter Island. I expect I'll have to go through Lima, Peru to get there.
Also, an ancient city high in the mountains of South America we now call the Andes.
With any luck, I can reach that through Lima as well. But this is fantastic! To think a Chinese sage may have visited the Americas hundreds of years before Columbus, or even Magellan's circumnavigation of the globe.
Indeed. Lu's tablet holds scripts from each of these ancient lands.
If someone were to find the key to that tablet,
we would be very interested in such a key.
There have been attempts to find out what I know by men who would not hesitate to kill.
What men?
I intend to find out. What's in that building behind you?
The stone tablet of the Master Lu.
May I see it?
I am afraid not. Several weeks ago, an archaeologist named 12 Trees asked to see the tablet.
12 Trees? That's the name the Baron mentioned. Chap's supposed to be somewhat of an expert on Master Lu.
A foreigner? I doubt if any foreigner could hope to be an expert on Master Lu.
Did you speak with him?
No, I did not. You do not know this 12 Trees, then?
Oh, yeah. 12 Trees and I go way back.
At that time, Master Lu's tablet was openly displayed. However, the very night this 12 Trees examined it, an attempt was made to steal the tablet.
You have no proof he was behind the theft.
Nevertheless, these are difficult times, and no one may see the tablet. Mr. Ripley, you realize what these men may be after?
The Emperor's seal.
The man who holds that seal. holds China in the palm of his hand.
Maybe all of the Far East. That's why it's so important the wrong man never gains the seal.
What do you propose?
If I locate the key, may I see the tablet?
To what end?
To enter the tomb of the first emperor, recover the seal, and bring it here to you for safekeeping.
But how do I know you would not try to use the power of the seal?
You have only my word. But who else have you got?
If you bring the key, then we will talk.
I've wheeled and dealed a good bit of my day, and you, sir, are one sharp customer. We have a deal. So, Lu traveled to Peru, Easter Island, and Sikkim, and the written script from these lands were used to create his tablet. And that tablet obviously holds some sort of secret to entering the first emperor's tomb.
If these ancient languages survived, a translation of the tablet would have been made long ago.
You're right. Ripley, it looks like you're going to have to be traveling in the Master's footsteps, retracing Lu's journey around the world, hoping to find a Rosetta Stone for each language.
If Baron von Seltsam has a key to the tablet, you might not have to go to all those places.
If that were true, the Baron could have deciphered the tablet already. No. I suspect the key may only prove to be one piece of Master Lu's riddle. The only one who can tell me for sure is the Baron himself.
But Robert, what if he's the one who tried to kill you and Feng Li?
Then I'll have to tread very carefully, won't I? Didn't I tell you Pei Ping in the spring would be interesting, May?
Robert?
May, you'd better get back to trying to secure our travel permits. I'll be in touch. Give my best to your grandmother.
All right, Robert. Take care.
Hello, Qianshu.
你好, Mr. Ripley. There is a message for you.
Thanks, Qianshu. Mr. Ripley, sir, wanted to remind you to be on the lookout for oddities while you save the world. Sincerely, Feng Li. I'll try to remember, my friend. Mei Chen has an aunt and uncle in London. I want to send them a radiogram. Nothing from a Baron von Seltsam in Danzig?
对不起, Mr. Ripley. No.
Curious. After that business in Egypt and Feng Li's narrow escape...
Anything wrong?
I hope not. I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
I will personally see that it is on the next plane.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
I will personally see that it is on the next plane.
I'd like to book passage.
很好, Mr. Ripley. Where will you be traveling?
Danzig.
很好, Mr. Ripley. When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Mr. Ripley. I cannot find any money in your account. Could Parts Express have made some error? Or will you be paying in cash?
Better make it cash. Guten Tag, Horst.
Herr Ripley, it is good to see you again. There is a message for you.
Ah, from May's aunt and uncle in London. Understand Mei Chen's concern for mother. Would be happy to assist in any way we can. It just might work. Horst, are you familiar with Baron von Seltsum's castle?
Oh, indeed, mein Herr. It is a local attraction.
I'll need transportation.
There is a taxi stand in the next block.
I'd like to buy some marks. Thank you, Horst. Goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen, Herr Ripley.
The so-called Free City of Danzig, perched precariously between Poland and Nazi Germany. How much longer will it remain free? Gosh, what a peculiar-looking place.
That is Slouch Pickers.
What does that mean?
Castle of the Ace of Spades, mynheer.
Somehow the name fits. Hello, my name is Ripley.
I am called Wolf.
And this, I take it, is Ace of Spades Castle.
Your powers of observation to your credit, mein Herr. But the castle to the tourist is not open. I'm sorry.
I'm no common tourist. I'm here to see Baron von Seltsum.
I am the Baron's gardener, not his secretary. I have duties of my own. The grounds are most extensive, as you can see, and I am only one man.
My dear fellow, your business is your own, and of no interest to me.
And your business, mein Herr, is of no interest to me.
Shaped like the Ace of Spades. A sturdy plank. Excuse me, but I've noticed how meticulously you attend to your topiaries.
Yeah, each one must be precisely shaped.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the bush out front is a mess.
I only just trimmed it. Oh, the plants, they hate me, you know.
This is no time to play the fool.
Herr Ripley, the bell. I thought it might be you.
No?
Gott im Himmel, the old Baron. Ah! The bell, the old Baron, the old Baron.
The Chinese symbol for long life on every wall. I think I finally understand the old Baron's interest in Lu. Even with all his safeguards, how could the Baron prevent his being buried alive? How could he outwit death? With Lu's elixir of life. You thought he might have succeeded in his quest after all, eh, Baron? If we could uncover a sample, or even the formula, you could duplicate it in your secret laboratory. It's the kind of dream every man flirts with when the road shortens and the end is near. But that's all it is, a dream, and a waste of time. Better to face our mortality, I think, to live the years we're granted as fully as we can. This ceramic mask is, I believe, to be placed over Lu's tablet to indicate what portion of the tablet must be deciphered. It was sent to me by a Japanese gentleman I employed in Shanghai to seek out any information on the first emperor's tomb. He wrote that it was found in a curio shop and obtained quite cheaply. I've heard nothing further from him. His silence is troubling. If he has come to realize the true import of this key and how it relates to the tablet in the Hall of Classics, who knows whom he may tell? The Japanese imperialists would dearly love to get their hands on the Emerald Seal. I grow increasingly weak, I'm afraid, so you, the one reading this, may now understand the lengths I went to take my knowledge to the grave with me. If you do acquire the Emerald Seal, I beg of you, Don't turn its power to world domination. Find it in your heart to use the seal only in the name of good. Then I can sleep my long sleep in peace. Signed, Otto, 6th Baron von Seltsam. I'll do my best, Baron. I promise you. So this is the key at last, an overlay for Lu's tablet. Now I need all the scripts necessary to translate the tablet. Now, how the heck do I get you down? Guten Tag, Horst.
Guten Tag, Herr Ripley.
Horst, I have a special parcel to send to New York.
Special?
A turtle of distinction, and I've packed lots of his favorite treats in with him for the long journey home. Handle with care.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley.
I'd like to book passage.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley. Und where will you be traveling?
Peru.
Sehr gut, mein Herr. When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima. There is a message for you.
Mr. Ripley, sir, thank you very much for returning little turtle friend. Glad to report he arrived safely, although for some reason he not much like maple sugar treats anymore. Sincerely, Feng Li. I'd like to buy some of your local currency.
How much inti would you like, senor?
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, senor.
From Auckland to Zanzibar, there's always a posh express office when you need it. A magnificent stele. One pictograph looks like a giant condor. It's a shame some of those blocks are broken off. Ripley, where do you think you're going? You don't know your way around these parts. Getting lost won't help. You have some interesting objects here. Where was that stele found?
The ancient city of the snake, senor.
I'd like to book passage.
Si, senor. And where will you be traveling?
Easter Island.
Easter Island? A popular destination?
Oh?
Si, senor. An expedition led by Dr. Twelvetrees has just returned there after several weeks.
12 trees? Again? The doctor gets around as much as I do.
Also, 2 Oriental gentlemen were inquiring only yesterday.
One small, one big with glasses?
Si, senor. You know them?
They're not on my Christmas list. This is getting to be a very small world indeed.
When will you be leaving for Easter Island, Senor Ripley?
Now.
Very good. Have a good trip, senor.
I'd have my shirt off too if I had to work in this heat for very long.
Hey!
Oh, excuse me.
Do you mind?
Not in the slightest. Whew, that's the most attractive pair of shoulders I've ever seen on an archaeologist.
How dare you sneak up on me like that?
It was unintentional, madam. Miss, I assure you.
Would you hand me my shirt, please?
Delighted. Terribly sorry. Just be a moment.
Give me the shirt. Swell. May I help you?
I'm looking for Dr. Twelvetrees.
You were leering at Dr. Twelvetrees a moment ago.
Oh, really? That is to say, I wasn't leering. I'm Robert Ripley. I believe we share a common interest. I had some questions.
I know who you are, Mr. Ripley. I recognized you.
Ah.
As far as I'm concerned, we share no common interests. I'm a scientist. You're in showbiz. Was there something else?
We're both interested in Master Lu.
Master who?
Don't fence with me, Doctor. You're supposed to be the leading Western authority on the man.
Of what possible interest could an ancient sage have to the man who brought us an hourglass filled with jelly beans?
Ah, then you've been to the Odditorium.
Answer my question. Maybe then I'll answer yours.
May I ask why you went to see Master Lu's tablet at the Hall of Classics?
Rongo tablets.
Take two and heartburn bubbles away?
They're sacred wood tablets found on this island. They've never been deciphered. I hope Lu's tablet might provide a clue to their translation.
And did it?
There is definitely Rongo script on Lu's tablet, but it's intermingled with others. A translation is almost impossible. The islanders hid or buried most of their tablets generations ago. I was hoping to find some at the foot of this altar.
I was wondering...
Mr. Ripley, you're a fast talker, I'll give you that. But I want some answers from you.
I tried to contact you in Egypt.
I was in Thebes for a while. What stopped you?
I was intercepted by two cutthroats who almost made an end of me in the desert.
It has nothing to do with me.
I wish I could be sure of that. An attempt was made to steal Master Lu's tablet.
What? But why would anyone...
Right after you saw it.
I'm a scientist, not a thief.
Someone might say archaeologists steal the past all the time. The British Museum is full of antiquities removed from their proper resting sites by scientists.
Mr. Ripley, it wasn't necessary to track me halfway across the world to criticize my profession. Next time, write a letter.
I need your help, but... I'm not sure I can trust you.
You're right. We do have something in common.
How do I know you're not after the secrets of Master Lu for some sinister purpose?
How do I know you're not? Sounds as if you better decide whether you can trust me or not.
Look, okay, I'll trust you.
You made the right choice.
Somebody, possibly the Japanese or the Nazis or the Chinese communists, it could even be Russians or mobsters for all I know, but somebody is after the first Emperor's seal of office. I intend to beat them to it.
Mr. Ripley, no one has entered the tomb in over 2,000 years. What makes you think you can succeed where generations before you have failed?
I don't know that I can. I only know I have to try. I'm the only person in a position to put all the pieces of Master Lu's puzzle together. I came here trying to find a clue to deciphering the Easter Island script on Lu's tablet, and to talk to you.
It's such a crazy story. I almost believe you.
Crazy stories are my stock in trade. Can you help me?
I'm not sure. I found a fragment of script on a stone head north of here, but I doubt it'll be of much use to you.
I'd like to see it.
This way. Here's a good example of Easter Island script.
Can you translate any of it?
No, no one can. That's why I went to see Master Lu's tablet in China. It wasn't much help, I'm afraid.
These stone monoliths are awe-inspiring seen this close up. That statue appears to be looking at Dr. Twelvetrees. I don't blame it.
Before you wander off, there is someone you might want to talk to.
Who?
An old woman who comes each day to a cove north of here to pray to the Watchers.
Sounds like there's an interesting story attached to this old woman.
Long ago, there were two tribes on the island, the Long-Ears, who were the rulers, and the Short-Ears, their subjects. The Long-Ears ordered the Short-Ears to build these famed Easter Island statues.
A remarkable achievement.
The Long-Ears next ordered the Short-Ears to clear the land of rocks and stones and throw them into the sea.
Why?
One theory states the Long-Ears felt the other stones detracted from the majesty of the statues. But the Short-Ears rebelled and determined to attack their oppressors. A huge ditch stretched the width of the island and prevented attack by land. It was filled with wood and could be ignited to repel invaders. They knew they must attack from the sea. The Watchers stood in their way. Come with me. There were two Watchers. One, a man who kept an eye on the sea approach to the Long-Ears' lands, and a guardian god who all believed would punish the Short-Ears if he saw them pass. The night of the attack, the Short-Ears toppled the statue face down so that they could pass without the god seeing them. There she is, supposedly a descendant of the original Watcher.
What happened to him?
He vanished. Some say he ran away in fear when the Short-Ears approached. But the old woman refuses to believe her ancestor was a coward. She comes here every day to pray to the watching god. She believes if it can be made to see again, all will know the truth of that night.
Fascinating.
I have long suspected that she knows more than she'll say. Some family tradition, perhaps, that could help both of us in our quests. Good luck, Mr. Ripley. I have to get back to my dig.
Thanks, Doctor. Reminds me of one of those comical birds, puffins. Shame there's a piece missing. It might make an interesting exhibit in the Odditorium. That stump is practically petrified. Nothing of interest to sketch in here. I can use Easter Island as the subject of one of my cartoons. May I talk to you for a moment?
I pray.
That your God may see again?
So that the grandfather of all my grandfathers may rest with honor instead of scorn.
You speak excellent English.
Missionaries have their uses.
Can I help you in any way?
As a child, I had a vision as my mother before me and her mother before her, that one would come from over the sea, even as my people came in times long forgotten. That one would make the watching God see again. In my vision, the one who would come was much taller.
When you had the vision, you were much smaller. There appears to be a note on the hut. I'm not thinking. This is no time to play the fool. Mr. Ripley, gone to the settlement for supplies. Be back shortly. 12 trees. It's a rough map. If those are stones, it might be someplace on the island. A rundown storage shed. The latest in portable generators. It obviously provides power to Dr. 12 Tree's hut. The pull cord has a wooden handle attached to a short length of rope. A sturdy-looking pole. That pole could come in handy, but it's not really mine to take. Oh, she'll never miss it. I can bring it back later. The top knot to the fallen statue. Hard for the watching god to see with its face buried in the hillside like that. That hole is much larger than the others. The watching god can see again.
One eye is missing.
Lots of people can see with one eye.
There is only one watching god, and it must have two eyes before it can see.
This is going to be harder than I thought. Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima.
Puffins. Stuffed, carved, molded, painted. A unique collection. I'm still intrigued by some of the interesting objects you have here. Someone here must like puffins.
It is my son, Senor Ripley. Before he became ill, we would travel to the sea to watch the funny little birds. Now he must stay in bed. So I bring them to him. Our house is small and there are puffins everywhere, so some I keep here for decoration.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear he's sick. What do the doctors say?
It is in God's hands.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, Senor.
An unusual looking clock. I wonder if there's a story behind it. I'm still intrigued by some of the interesting objects you have here. This clock, may I ask where it came from?
The mechanism has been with my family for many years. My grandfather had it custom made by one of the finest clockmakers in Switzerland. The original case fell to pieces long ago. I found that coral to replace it.
Was the original also shaped like that?
Si, senor. My grandfather used to say, people are always watching the clock. He wanted one that would look back.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Vaya con Dios, senor.
This driftwood reminded me of a puffin when I first saw it.
You're right. It is a remarkable likeness.
Your son might like it. And that circular hole, your clock might fit in there.
It is possible, yes.
Could we trade?
With the greatest of pleasure, Senor Ripley. Muchísimas gracias. My son will be so excited. But it is not much of a trade. I have gained so much, and you... May I not pay you something?
Don't worry about me. This piece of coral is payment enough. I'd like to book passage.
Si, senor. And where will you be traveling?
Easter Island.
No problema, senor. When will you be leaving?
Now.
Very good. Have a good trip, senor.
Madam, I have what you need.
You can make the watching god see again?
Yes.
Is this all?
Well, yes.
This eye is not complete. Find the missing part. Then the watching god will see again.
I'm an adventurer, not an optician. Madam, excuse me.
You again?
I'm pretty sure I have what you need.
Yes, yes, now the watching god will see again. You are taller. Your deeds make you so.
Why, thank you.
Place your hands on the watching god.
Ah, some sort of arcane ritual. Dr. 12 Tree should see this.
Spread your legs.
Madam, I must be out of shape. Your feather-like form is beginning to tell on me, I'm afraid.
Place your hands on the hill.
And spread my legs?
There is something up there. I saw it when I replaced the eye. The bones of the grandfather of my grandfathers. He did not run away in fear. The short ears pushed the watching god on top of him. I will give his bones the rest they deserve, and all will honor him. The watching god sees again, and my family's honor is restored. You are the one for my vision. May you find what you seek on Easter Island.
Can you help me? I'm looking for Easter Island artifacts.
The grandfather of my grandfathers was the keeper of a great secret.
A great secret, eh? I wonder what she meant by that. Dr. 12 Trees.
You haven't seen my pole, have you?
What pole?
I had it propped in the corner of the pit. I drape a tarp over it so I can work in the rain.
I'll keep my eyes open. The watching god can see again. We also found the remains of the old woman's ancestor in a hole in the hillside beneath where the statue lay.
That's terrific news. Did you learn anything from her?
The hole where her ancestor was buried might be worth searching.
Why didn't you explore it?
I can't reach it on my own.
I'll help. How did you ever manage to shift that statue? Hey, that looks like my pole.
Oh, does it? The watcher's body was in a hole up there.
I have a great idea. You stand against the hill and give me a boost up.
Now, why didn't I think of that? See anything, Doctor?
There's something here, all right.
Sorry. What are they?
Sticks, a red stone, a scallop shell, a starfish, a shark's tooth, and a seahorse, all tied with grass. And a horn made from whalebone.
Gosh, what a find.
The horn might be of interest to you, but it's too recent for me. Not more than 400 or 500 years old. As for the other, I've seen something like it before. The islanders use them as navigation charts. That red stone in the center comes from the quarry. Not of much archaeological significance, unfortunately. Looks like a dead end. I have to get back to my dig. Will you be staying on Easter Island much longer, Mr. Ripley?
I'm not sure. Why?
If you are, I'd better send for a trunk of new clothes.
Dr. 12 Trees lighter. She dropped it during our unfortunate tumble. The stone used to fashion the top knots of the statues. The quarry is littered with great chunks of stone. The stone used to fashion the top knots of the statues. A patch of clay. One of Easter Island's famed statues. The stone used to fashion the top knots of the statues. There's a scallop carved into the rock. There's a shark's tooth carved into the rock. A chunk of small rock not used to make the statues. I now have a horn full of water. The clay has a wet sheen to it. A chunk of small rock not used to make the statues. This is no time to play the fool. That massive boulder, natural fissure in the rock. There's something in there.
It's hot here. I can't stand heat. I don't like to sweat. Peasants sweat. I am not a peasant. She's not paying attention, Shenkao. I'm insulted. This could be so simple. You tell us where Mr. Ripley is. You tell us what he has learned. You win a prize. We give you your life. What could be simpler than that?
You, if you think I'm gonna tell you anything.
Now?
You may hit her, yes.
Oh!
You will answer my questions, Doctor. The only uncertainty in the entire process is how much pain you must endure first. Where is Mr. Ripley? Why did Mr. Where is Mr. Ripley?
A tool for unscrewing the spark plug. That wasn't there before.
Why did Mr. Ripley come to Easter Island? What has Mr. Ripley learned?
Now
Mr.
the
Ripley
plug's
know
loose.
Master Lu visited
If I
here?
turn it anymore and don't have a stopper handy, I'll have gas all over the place.
Did he find anything that might help decipher Lu's tablet? You may hit her, Shenkao.
Ow!
Now we begin again. Where is Mr. Ripley? Why did Mr. Ripley come to Easter Island?
The pull cord stretches from the wire to where it plugs the gas tank drain.
Does Mr. Ripley know Master Lu visited here? Shengao, see who's in the shed.
Doctor, are you okay?
Mr. Ripley, after saving my life, you've earned the right to call me Samantha.
Oh, fine. I'm Robert.
Yes, you are. But who were they?
I've crossed paths with them before. They're working for whoever's after the seal. I'm very sorry you got stuck in the middle of this.
I misjudged you, Robert. The fate of the world may rest in your hands. I wish I could do more to help.
Maybe you can. I think I've found something. What do you make of it?
Huh. A rongo, definitely, but... Robert, do you know what this is?
No, that's what I was asking.
Centuries ago, Dutch slavers carried off the last of the islanders who could read and write. Before they did, one of the islanders must have tried to record the language so that later generations could relearn it.
And that stick?
These pictures are not writing. They're all the same, but each set contains one more picture than the last. It's obvious, Robert.
What is, Samantha?
They're numbers. 1 or first, 2 or second, and so on. This stick you found, we can at last begin a translation.
Ah, well, gosh, good. The symbols you recognize, where did you see them before?
On Master Lu's tablet.
Doctor, Samantha, thank you. I'd better make a sketch of these glyphs. You may have the stick to aid your research. Oh, here is your spark plug tool. I borrowed it.
Under the circumstances, I won't complain. You have to go now, don't you?
Yes, with these glyphs, I'm one step farther on my quest. But the end isn't in sight yet.
Well, good luck. Maybe we'll run into each other again in some forgotten corner of the world someday.
Maybe we will. Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, Senor Ripley. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
Thanks. I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, Senor Ripley. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
Thanks. I'd like to book passage.
Si, senor. And where will you be traveling?
Danzig.
Muy bien, senor. When will you be leaving?
Now.
Very good. Have a good trip, senor.
Guten Tag, Horst.
Guten Tag, Herr Ripley.
Ace of Spades Castle, home to generations of Barons von Seltzer. What happened to Wolf? I don't see him anywhere.
The gardener is gone, mein Herr. A bell rang from within the old Baron's tomb. It was a false alarm, of course. The old fool didn't realize it and ran off somewhere. And now I'm having difficulty replacing him. The villagers are so superstitious, you know.
I'm sorry.
It is not your fault.
Right. A red billiard ball. Luckily for anyone wanting to play, it is not shaped like the ace of spades. The old Baron's writing desk. I wonder what's in there. Great Caesar's ghost! It's addressed to me! A few papers referring to household matters. A few papers referring to household matters. Mr. Ripley, this interesting item came into my possession quite by accident last year while I was in China. I thought it might amuse you. To the best of my knowledge, it is the cheapest stamp ever struck, worth but 4/1000ths of one of your American pennies. Please accept it with my compliments. I look forward to meeting you in person soon to plan our great adventure tackling the mysteries of the First Emperor's tomb. Signed, Otto, 6th Baron von Selum. I would have enjoyed seeing this thing through with you, Baron. I'm sorry it wasn't meant to be. Worth only a fraction of a cent. How wonderful! The cabinet is closed. The cabinet is closed. Parcheesi, Mahjong, Chinese checkers, and that new game, Monopoly. It's rather fun. I wonder if it'll catch on. There's a drawer in the games cabinet. The ace of spades is missing from this deck of cards. Neptune on, you guessed it, a large ace of spades playing card. That ace of spades looks slightly different than the rest of the wallpaper design. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. I'm not thinking. I know I don't smoke, but cigarettes certainly make you look sophisticated. I wonder if they're as good for your health as the scientists claim. A box of fine Cubano cigars. Judging by the ace of spades on the box, I'd bet they're the old Baron's special blend. That won't work. A fine Cubano cigar with a gold band. A vent, probably to draw off cigar smoke. A round hole. a built-in lighter, an ashtray. Curious. The table suddenly seems to be on an angle. What on earth is that? A metal rod of some sort with a serrated tip bent at a 90-degree angle. The other end is a solid two-pronged fork. There's a drawer in the work table. A rubber plug. One of the few things in this incredible room I recognize. That's a length of ordinary garden hose. Surgical tubing. A handle with tapered wooden ends and a threaded hole in its metal center. A faucet. A faucet. The periodic table. I had to memorize every last one of the elements when I was a boy. It's the kind of useless knowledge schools insist on cramming into your brain. The pump is connected to a compressed air tank. The air is escaping. The pressure isn't building up. The faucet handle. The faucet handle fits snugly on the air valve. The air is escaping. The pressure isn't building up. I worked hard to rig that. I'll leave it where it is for now. The air valve is closed. The tank is full of air. There, the surgical tube is connecting the two nozzles. A thick glass bottle with many curious features. It's girded with an iron support of some kind. There are 3 small holes set in its sides. The largest opening is at the top. About the only thing unremarkable about it is the familiar shape. Say, what's that at the bottom of the glass? It's some sort of pivot bolted to the tabletop. At last, the Romanov Emerald. What a great cartoon feature it would make. The bottle's iron support has been attached to the gear wheel. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. There's a tiny hole in the iron near the neck of the bottle. I'm not thinking. There's a large pivot depending from the ceiling. You can't do that. A piston set into the table. Beneath the table, tubing runs from the piston to one of two brass nozzles. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. I worked so hard to do that. I think I'll leave things the way they are. That won't work. A faucet. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. I thought for sure that might work, but it won't. Ripley, get the surgical tube, the hose. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. Baron, you are one very strange man. That letter must be important if the old Baron went to all this trouble to protect it. It's addressed to the old Baron, Otto Baron von Seltsam, Schloss Pikas, Free City of Danzig, February 26, 1936. My dear Baron, as you are aware, I have been conducting a series of excavations at what I had presumed to be a Stone Age pre-Inca settlement outside of Lima. However, I have recently located a stele carved into what appears to be a city wall. Of course, I was simply amazed when I realized that I had stumbled across an organized civilization that predates the Inca in Tawantinsuyu by at least 1,200 years, if not more. I am delighted to report that I was able to decipher several sequences from the stele. I'll allow you to read the exact details when I publish my findings in the literature. But since you have requested that I immediately forward any information that could be related to Master Lu, I can share a few points now. If I'm correct, the stele describes the existence of at least 3 other settlements within Tawantinsuyu, each dedicated to an animal deity. The stele tells that one site was dedicated to the condor, another to the snake, another to the spider, and the last to the monkey. I am almost certain that my current excavation site is dedicated to the condor. Further, it seems that these people were also adept astronomers, and like the Inca after them, they constructed ritual observatories where they would worship at intervals based on the movement of the stars and sun. These ritual observatories were locked to all but the high priests, and to ensure security, the combination to each door was inscribed on a stele in a completely different settlement. The stele that I have found appears to have the key for the observatory in the snake settlement inscribed upon it. I have sketched the pertinent glyphs for your perusal. Unfortunately, none of my research offers clues to the location of the snake or any other settlement. Now I have recently come into contact with an Andean guide named Luis Aruños. He claims to have come across the remains of a similar settlement, Moche, and he described numerous decorations featuring iconic spiders. Also, he had in his possession several shards of terracotta pottery and slivers of obsidian that closely matched the artifacts that I have uncovered in my dig. However, I noticed that one of the shards of pottery was different from every other sample of Peruvian pottery that has been found. The shard was white, and upon closer inspection I determined the fragment to be composed of kaolin clay glazed with feldspar, which, as you know, was only produced in China during the time of Qin Shi Huangdi. I have included a tiny sample of this fragment, and if you could inspect it, Baron, I'm sure you'll agree that it is in fact a piece of pottery from the time of the first emperor. This adds credence to your theory that Chinese travelers visited South America during the time of Master Lu. Incidentally, it may only be a coincidence, but shortly after my discovery, I noticed a man trailing me throughout Lima. I attempted to approach him on at least 2 occasions, but each time he disappeared before I was able to get a look at him. Please let me know if you think that this is related to your investigation into Master Lu. In any case, Louise has agreed to guide me to the Spider Settlement, and we are to depart as soon as I have sent a preliminary draft of my paper to the International Archaeology Society. It is my sincere hope that you will be well enough to join me soon, as I feel I am on the verge of a monumental discovery that will put me in company with the likes of Carter and Schliemann. Humbly yours, Dr. Jorge Menendez, Professor Emerit, Pre-Columbian Archaeology, National University of San Marcos, Lima. Feldspath, Eureka, Lu must have been in Peru, the lost city of Moche. Must do wire Menendez immediately, wire Ripley, sequester key important, sink it, put it to bed, the lone couch of his everlasting sleep. It wouldn't be a real laboratory without a microscope. The letters TI and XE, that's all. A steel door. A series of 4 number wheels with corresponding buttons beneath them. T-I and X-E. Spelled backwards, you have exit. Exactly what I planned to do. Ow! Oh no! It's pitch dark in here. Ripley, if you've locked yourself in a safe or the old Baron's private dungeon, they may never find your body. Is the Romanov curse at work on me already? Ow! What's this? Stairs leading up. Guten Tag, Horst.
Guten Tag, Herr Ripley.
Horst, I want to send a radiogram to Lima, Peru, to a Professor Menendez at the university. I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley. It will leave on the first plane out tomorrow.
I'd like to book passage.
Auf jeden Fall, Herr Ripley. Und where will you be traveling?
Peru.
Sehr gut, mein Herr. When will you be ready to leave?
Now.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima. There is a message for you.
Dear Mr. Ripley, I regret to inform you that Professor Jorge Menendez was killed 2 weeks ago in an attempted robbery. Most of his papers are missing or destroyed. The perpetrator remains at large. We're all shocked to say the least, and it will take us months to reconstruct the professor's work. But if I can be of assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Signed, Rafael Campos, Assistant Professor of Archaeology, National University of San Marcos, Lima. Months? I don't have months. The man Menendez mentioned in his letter, the one who was following him, I wonder who he was. I'd like to book passage.
Si, senor. And where will you be traveling?
Moche.
Moche. It is very difficult to reach. Most tourists go to Machu Picchu. They are not interested in nameless civilizations no one has heard of before.
I'm told there is a guide who knows Moche. Luis something.
That would be Luis Aruños, senor. He was part of the expedition that discovered the lost city.
Could you arrange for him to guide me there?
No problema. Although he will not enter the city.
Why?
Ghosts, senor. Why else? When will you be leaving?
Now.
Very good. Have a good trip, senor.
The guide must really be scared of ghosts, leaving me to climb the last 500 feet on my own. But I'm going to need a rope to climb back down that last cliff. The statue of a spider. Menendez was right. Moche was the city devoted to the spider god. There is a rope attached to an iron ring on the statue. Excuse me. Hello there. My name's Ripley.
Did I ask?
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
My name's Menendez, if it's any concern of yours.
You're Dr. Jorge Menendez?
Who did you say?
Professor of Archaeology at the National University of San Marcos in Lima. I thought you were dead.
No, I'm Emilio Menendez. Uncle Jorge was my uncle, twice removed. Now a third time removed, and for good.
Are you following up on your uncle's research?
I would need his notes to do that. They were stolen. What are you suggesting?
I know your game, Menendez. You sell artifacts for profit.
What of it?
You're nothing but a common grave robber.
Oh, and did you climb all the way up here for the air? My uncle and I were in the same profession, senor. You think because they call him doctor, he was any better than I?
He respected the past. You rape it.
Be very careful what you say, senor. Grave robber, grave digger is much the same.
Have you dug up anything interesting?
Yes, I have. An excellently preserved shrunken head. Like to buy it?
If the price is right.
750 Inti.
Will you take 300?
600.
400.
Ah, you're stealing the food from my children's mouths. 450.
Sold. This head looks suspiciously fresh.
Be very careful what you suggest, senor.
Thanks for the advice. Could I buy your ladder?
No, senor.
Could I buy that shovel?
You're wasting my time.
I'll talk to you later.
It is up to you, senor.
Excuse me. Would you take this?
For what?
Your ladder, your shovel.
I'll take it as a down payment.
That's an emerald. It's worth thousands. Give it back.
Do not provoke me further, or they'll be digging up your remains in a century or two. Oh, what cursed luck!
What happened?
I sliced up my foot with a shovel. It's never happened to me before. I'm a professional.
Cursed luck. Wait! The emerald!
It's mine now!
Don't try crossing the... Chasm. A pre-Columbian wheeled toy. This is remarkable. We know the Inca hadn't discovered any practical application for the wheel, yet here it is used as locomotion for a toy. And a little child shall lead them. This stele must refer to the city that worshipped the monkey god that Professor Menendez mentioned in his letter. Some of the blocks are missing. The lost city of Moche. This will make a marvelous addition to my gallery. I already have a sketch of Moche. Something in that niche is catching the sunlight. Vines cling to the stone wall of the tower. The dome looks uncannily advanced for its time. Statues of spiders with outstretched arms, as if welcoming their prey. There's something about that tower, the stark lines of the crumbling. The rope is the only handhold for anyone crossing the chasm on that tree. And there's a large coil of vine left on the ground. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. If I'm going to cross the chasm on that tree trunk, I'd better travel light. I'll have to untie it first. I'll have to untie it first. This is no time to play the fool. You can't do that. Gosh, the wind. It erupts from below, its fingers plucking at me, insistent, caressing, pushing me up the steps to... what? And the sound, like a choir of the damned. The guide was right. There are ghosts here, and now I know why. A ladder. A skull fashioned from some fabulous crystal. A door of solid copper, yet it lacks a handle or a doorknob. And those symbols inset into the frame, they're similar to the ones on the stelae I've sketched. It's some sort of mechanism requiring a combination. According to the Menendez letter, somewhere in another lost city is the stele that holds the combination to this door. A headless skeleton carved from unblemished jade. A bas-relief design of some kind. No doubt an ancient god. A headless skeleton carved from unblemished jade. Carved from stone. That won't work. Carved from stone. This is no time to play the fool. Holes dot the circumference of the base. I wonder what they're for. The colors striking each glyph. It must be significant. Got it. I hope it helps. Buenos dias, Mateo.
Buenos dias, Senor Ripley. Welcome back to Lima.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, Senor Ripley. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
Thanks. I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, Senor Ripley. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
Thanks. I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Muy bien, Senor Ripley. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
Thanks. I'd like to book passage.
Si, senor. And where will you be traveling?
Sikkim.
Muy bien, senor. When will you be leaving?
Now.
Very good. Have a good trip, senor.
Good day.
Sat Sri Akal, Sahib. How may I assist you?
My name is Robert Ripley.
Ah, Mr. Ripley, there is a message for you.
Dear Mr. Ripley, I wanted to let you know that the identity of Professor Menendez's killer has been uncovered. Evidence at the scene points to a ne'er-do-well nephew of the professor named Emilio Menendez, a criminal with a history of looting historical sites. The motive was greed. The nephew had apparently broken into the professor's home in an attempt to steal papers that would lead him to archaeological treasures. Unfortunately, the man seems to have vanished, but police all over Latin America are on the lookout for him. I can only hope that Emilio Menendez will be brought to justice for his despicable crime. Signed, Rafael Campos, Assistant Professor of Archaeology, National University of San Marcos, Lima. I'm on the trail of a very elusive Chinese gentleman called Master Lu.
Does this gentleman reside in Sikkim, Sahib?
No, but I believe he passed through here some 21 centuries ago.
21 centuries? I have not had the honor of working here that long.
Is there anyone here I can talk to who knows the history of this place?
There are holy men at a temple near the village where I was born. It is said that they were here before all others.
Can you direct me to the temple?
Certainly, Sahib. This road will take you to the Temple of the Hidden Way.
Many thanks,
Taranjeet, Sahib.
Thanks, Taranjeet. Authentic prayer wheels of the Himalayas. The Himalayas. Is there a more majestic and mysterious mountain range on this planet? No time for reading. A genuine Sikkimese prayer wheel. That's an unusual looking skin. Polar bear?
Yeti, Sahib.
Yeti? The abominable snowman of the Himalayas? Would you be interested in selling it?
No, Sahib, they are very rare.
No kidding. Is the temple open to the public?
The temple is open to no one except those of the temple.
Could I make a small contribution to you personally?
We have no need of money here.
Why is the temple called the Temple of the Hidden Way?
The path to true enlightenment is not easily found.
How do I find the path to enlightenment?
Study, study, study.
That's not very helpful.
To those who ask the question, I am instructed to say only this. None of my brothers will find what he seeks until he has the correct prayer wheel.
Each of your brothers prays for something?
As each has acquired knowledge as well.
The prayer wheels don't all match what each brother is seeking?
5 have been incorrectly placed.
On purpose? This is some kind of test for me, isn't it?
For all of us. It is the ultimate test of our temple. Only those who pass it will discover the hidden way.
Has anyone found the path to enlightenment?
It is written, only he who has studied longest knows the hidden way.
I'm trying to follow the movements of an ancient wise man called Master Lu.
You know of Lu?
Did he visit here then?
Centuries before the temple was built. It is written he sought the elixir of eternal life.
Did Lu find the elixir of life?
If he had, wouldn't you be able to ask him yourself?
Good point. Is there anything else you can tell me about Master Lu?
Lu taught us much.
About what?
He studied our language and gave us his. Lu believed all people would someday be as one. So it is written in his book.
His book? I don't suppose you have a copy you could lend me.
The book is enlightenment. It lies at the end of the hidden way.
Wouldn't you know it? I'd very much like to see the temple.
Only those of the temple may enter.
Any way I can join up?
Forsake the material world. Spend 9 years in solitude and penance in the mountains. Then you may apply to join the temple.
Yeah, sounds swell. But I'm not sure I can spare the time just now. That's an interesting ring you're wearing.
It is the ring of the hidden way. Only those of the temple may wear it.
Could I buy it?
No.
Maybe when I have something to celebrate, I can pass out cigars. Maybe when I have something to celebrate, I can pass out cigars. I don't smoke. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. I confess I was testing your vigilance, my friend. As you see, I'm a member of the temple.
We all must be vigilant, especially after last week. You may pass.
Don't be surprised if I ask further questions.
I understand. We all must question every day if we ever hope to find true enlightenment.
Especially after last week, what did you mean?
A gang of cutthroats tried to force their way into the temple.
What happened?
2 of my brothers lost their lives.
Why did they try to force their way in?
No one knows for certain. The brigand who survived was questioned. He said they were paid by 2 Chinese men.
One large, one small?
Yes.
While there are similarities to other temples in this part of the world, the Temple of the Hidden Way is unique. The origins of the sect which resides here are lost in the mists of time. You see similar wooden statuary all over Asia. These are especially fine. An ornate room with no apparent entrance. A prayer wheel. I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
Every creature has its purpose. It is better to catch a snake than to slay it.
I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
He who attracts unwanted attention must find that which excites his spectator more.
I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
The path to enlightenment may be traveled through study and prayer.
What is the prayer you have learned?
I know the prayer of wisdom.
What is the prayer you study?
When I have learned it, then you may know.
Have you studied long?
He who has found truth has been here 4 times as long as I.
Perhaps I'll talk to you later, if I may. A prayer wheel. A prayer wheel. You can't do that. The guard would never let me take any of the temple's prayer wheels. I'd better put them back. I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
There is no reward too great for one who restores a man's honor.
The grate was designed to let air and light through to the interior of the temple. I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
The path to enlightenment may be traveled through study and prayer.
What is the prayer you have learned?
I know the prayer of insight.
What is the prayer you study?
When I have learned it, then you may know.
Perhaps I'll talk to you later, if I may. I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
Growing things were never meant to be shaped to man's desire.
The wheel is fixed in place. I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
The path to enlightenment may be traveled through study and prayer.
What is the prayer you have learned?
I know the prayer of peace.
Perhaps I'll talk to you later, if I may. I'm looking for the path to enlightenment. Can you help me?
The path to enlightenment may be traveled through study and prayer.
What is the prayer you have learned?
I know the prayer of truth.
Perhaps I'll talk to you later, if I may. There's already a prayer wheel in place. There's the prayer wheel of peace.
You are correct. I seek peace. Thank you for returning my prayer wheel.
There's the prayer wheel of serenity.
You are correct. I seek serenity. Thank you for returning my prayer wheel.
There's the prayer wheel of wisdom.
You are correct. I seek wisdom. Thank you for returning my prayer wheel.
There's the prayer wheel of truth.
You are correct. I seek truth. Thank you for returning my prayer wheel.
There's the prayer wheel of insight.
You are correct. I seek insight. Thank you for returning my prayer wheel.
You've studied longer than any of the others. Have you found the path to enlightenment?
I guard the path to enlightenment, but you have shown yourself possessed of insight beyond your years. You too may now follow the hidden way.
But where is the hidden way?
Find the prayer of enlightenment. The way will now be open to you.
Mazes. I hate mazes. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here. I'm not going through there without light. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. I'm not going through there. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. That looks like a chisel on the floor. It's probably lain there since this room was built. The handle of the chisel is an elaborately contrived likeness of a Yeti, the abominable snowman of the Himalayas. Fascinating. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. I'm not going through there without light. I could wander around down here for eternity. That looks like an incense burner of a very antique design. Who knows how long ago it was forgotten here? Fascinating construction. The incense burner has 3 bowls, for different herbs, I would imagine. I must get the writing on the bowls translated. I wish it were always that easy. This must be Lu's book. There are Chinese characters lined up next to the Siamese glyphs. All I need are the glyphs inscribed on it. You can't do that. I can't think of anything else to sketch right now. Some religious treatise written in ancient Siamese, I'd wager. Nothing of interest to sketch in here. Those icons are solid gold. Mazes. I hate mazes. Hello, Taranjeet.
Sat Sri Akal, Mr. Ripley.
May will be able to find someone to translate the ancient Chinese characters from the temple. I'd like to send a message to an associate of mine in Peiping. Her name is Mei Chen.
Certainly, Sahib.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Certainly, Sahib. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
I'd like to send a parcel to New York.
Certainly, Sahib. It will go out on tomorrow's plane.
I'd like to book passage.
Certainly, Mr. Ripley. Where will you be traveling?
Peiping.
Very good, Mr. Ripley. When will you be leaving?
Now.
Very good, Mr. Ripley.
May, any luck with our travel permits?
Yes, I have them. Here's the translation of the script you found in the temple. The Chinese was literal. I suppose so specific characters could be matched up next to their Siamese equivalent.
Then all we need is to decipher Master Lu's tablet and find a way into the tomb. Did you arrange for the necessary equipment and labor for the excavation?
It was impossible. The Japanese are everywhere. I suspect they want to be the first ones to open the tomb.
What's stopping them?
Xian province is outside their control. But once my mission was learned, I've been followed, and they are attempting to have our travel permits revoked.
After all the time it took to secure them, we can't allow that. We can't tarry, May. The Baron was right. The world is on the brink of war. Nothing can stop it now. It falls to us to try and protect the seal from those who would exploit it.
But even if we can reach it, how will we get into the tomb?
We haven't come this far to be thwarted by a few tons of dirt.
Mr. Ripley, you have several radiograms from your New York office.
No time for business now, old man. We have a world to save. Together. The gatekeeper's gone. Come on. I don't like the looks of this. The acolyte who guarded Lu's tablet is gone as well. Careful, May. The floor is very uneven here.
Robert!
Stay back, May. It's the acolyte. He's dead. Shot. Watch your step. There they are, May. Script from Easter Island, Moche, and Sikkim. Yes. Push, man, 5, blue, pull, man, 1, red. This must be it. May, we've solved the riddle of Master Lu.
I'm delighted to hear that, Mr. Ripley. My name is Quang. We've never been formally introduced.
You're working for the Japanese, aren't you?
You're a traitor!
I'm a businessman. I work for whomever pays me.
Businessman, you're nothing but a murderer for hire.
No, I'm simply very good at finding things. I'm a retriever, you might say. I fetch. It's Shen Gao, my large associate here, who kills people.
No.
Not quite. Now.
Say, listen, you're not mad because I blew you up on Easter Island, are you? Gasoline, fire, these things happen. Wait a second, I've grown quite attached to some of that stuff. I think I should warn you, you're not the only one who knows martial arts. You? Heck no! If it was me, you wouldn't be in so much trouble right now. The brazier is full of searing hot coals. I'm not thinking. It's the acolyte. He's dead. A piece of charcoal has fallen from the brazier. Ripley, save Mei Chen. You can clean up later. You can't do that. Ripley, you're no match for him physically. You can't do that. That won't work. The brazier is full of searing hot coals. The tablet is slightly tilted. The subsidence of the floor in this alcove has made that tablet pretty unstable. What am I thinking of? If I push this over, the other tablets would topple like dominoes. May would be crushed. Gosh, my whole life just seemed to pass before my eyes. Wait a minute. That was my life. I'd sure like another chance. This one is unsteady as well. With enough effort, I suspect I could overbalance this. You can't do that. A piece of charcoal has fallen from the brazier. Ripley, save Mei Chen. You can clean up later. This is no time to play the fool. You can't do that. You can't do that. The gun landed on the red-hot coals in that brazier. The gun is red hot. I don't have time to wait for it to cool. Rip. I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking. The brazier is bolted to the floor. The gun is red hot. I don't have time to wait for it to cool.
another moment.
Gosh, you were swell.
What about your journal?
I'll have a look. I can see it in the gap between the tablets, but it's too far in to reach. The brazier is bolted to the floor.
Robert, you're a genius. But Quang has a head start, and we still don't know a way into the tomb.
Buck up, May. We're not done yet. Luckily, my account at Posh Express still had some funds in it. But with all the unrest in the countryside, the driver of the car we hired refused to remain. There's no going back now. It's a Japanese zero.
你好，呢個係 Robert Ripley 先生。佢對呢個最先皇帝嘅墳墓好有興趣研究。
喂，係咪就係佢度作嘢啊？啊？
發掘？
係啊，幾個星期前啊，無端端成寨人走上嚟李山呢度，喺嗰邊日作夜作，嗰啲咪泥頭車喺上面吱喳咁轉，搞到成個地下都要震晒咁樣離晒譜啊！唉，我啲米啊冇日安寧啊！
What is he saying, May?
There are a lot of men digging on the other side of Mount Li. He says great trucks rumble past at all hours, shaking the earth. They disturb the harmony of his rice. Robert, are we too late?
They may have dug down to the tomb, but if they'd found a way in, Quang would not have stolen my notes.
Getting past Quang's men won't be easy.
No.
唉，我哋呢塊地啊，從來未試過好過嘅。舊陣時係日本仔，而家就盜墓賊。今年啊，啲收成係實衰過舊年，唔使睇啊。
He says our land is in pain from the invaders and now these grave robbers, as he calls them.
It's what they are, right enough. And we have to find a way to stop them. What's this, broken china? There's something horribly symbolic in that. No, wait! May, these are bits of terracotta sculptures. Here's part of a hand.
Where did they come from?
The old baron's letter mentioned row upon row of terracotta soldiers, guarding the first emperor's treasures.
But how can they be here?
If I knew where to dig, that shovel might come in handy. May, ask him about the broken pottery.
請問先生，你喺邊度揾到呢啲碎鋼瓦片？
我喺度鑿坑嗰陣先發現㗎咋。
It came from his root cellar.
The farm's root cellar. The farmer stores his produce down here in the cool of the cellar. A heap of potatoes. A heap of potatoes. A heap of potatoes. A sack of rice, undoubtedly homegrown. Great Scott! A hand fashioned from terracotta. I wonder if it's part of a statue that was damaged when they built the tomb and discarded it. No. 12 feet underground? That must be where the farmer unearthed those pieces of terracotta. There's a fragment still embedded in the wall. Ask him about the hands sticking from the wall down there.
先生，點解你有個手喺呢個冷室埲牆度？
哦，其他嗰啲碎片啊飛到周圍都係。呢度啊，我淨係執到嗰幾塊咋。大嗰塊啊，唉，我都費事執啊！嗰埲咁嘅牆危乎跌落嚟砸死我咁點啊
？He says he was afraid to touch the hand because he was afraid the dirt wall might collapse.
Was he? I wonder if his fear is justified. That shovel might come in handy. I wish I had something specific to ask that fellow. I don't have time to discover this fellow will only part with that shovel if I present him with a rare vegetable from Tibet or something. May, tell the fellow I'd like to buy his shovel. Then he can buy a new one.
我哋可唔可以買你個鐵鏟？
喂，呢個鏟好靚㗎。
He says it's a very good shovel.
There you are, my good man. With that, you can buy a new farm. It's black as sin in there. That won't work. Ask him if he has a lantern or something.
你有冇眼燈，所以我哋可以睇到？
喂，我啊剩返一支火柴啫。哈，我諗呢位阿聲有啩。
Oh, a single match. Well, it'll have to do. The dirt wall was very thin here between the root cellar and some sort of large cave. May, come look at this! Ow!
What happened?
Oh, I saw an urn filled with oil, deduced at once that it was a primitive lamp, and simply set it alight.
Well done.
Yeah, elementary.
Robert! Is this?
Yes, it must be. We've broken through into the tomb itself. At some point, the soldier has been damaged by the natural shifting of the earth. A terracotta horse. The first in a row of 7 soldiers wearing red skirts. A support beam has been dislodged from the wall. Quite a load, but I suppose I can carry it for a short distance. The terracotta soldiers are holding intricately crafted shields. The shield is sheathed in copper and has a wooden backing. A beam of wood about 3 feet long is broken away from the ceiling. That hole looks newer than the one we entered through. Yes, this earth is freshly turned, and there's a footprint as well.
Then Quang made it this far.
Maybe. But if so, where is he now? That urn must be empty, or a pipe was blocked over the years. Listen. The chariot isn't a sculpture. It looks real. Push man 5, blue, pull man 1, red. I'm not thinking.
It's Quang! What happened to him?
Looks like Quang found out firsthand that a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing.
But who killed him?
I suspect Master Lu.
But how?
Until we discover that, we'd best proceed with caution. He came to a nasty and pointed end. That can only be the 2nd century BC Chinese equivalent of a doorknob. It must be how Quang closed the jade door after him.
I saw Quang's flashlight flicker and die when we entered. It's of no use now.
Quang wasn't shot from behind or farther along the corridor. He was shot from the side. No, both sides.
Better move to one side, May. I have an idea.
What happened?
Another of Master Lu's little jokes for the unwary. A precisely painted dragon motif surrounds the doorway. The oil is burning furiously. I hope it lasts. A centuries-old artifact reduced to matchsticks. That section of wall looks exactly like a giant wheel. One of the Terakotta soldiers has toppled into the abyss.
Robert!
Gosh, my whole life just seemed to pass before my eyes. Ripley, get a grip on yourself. That hole reminds me of a flood control duct. But why so high from the floor of this chamber? This is no time to play the fool. There's a hole in the wall on the far side of the chasm. You can't do that. That section of wall looks exactly like a giant wheel. May, I'll stand on this end of the bridge.
Yes?
My weight should be able to balance you so that you can cross safely to the other side.
But how will you get across?
Go ahead. We'll take this one step at a time. May, put the crank in the slot and turn it. When you tried to turn the crank, it sounded as if something bumped against your end of the bridge. Turn the crank again. Turn the crank again. The bolt banged against your end of the bridge.
Robert!
Gosh, my whole life just seemed to pass. Turn the crank again. Turn the crank again. Turn the crank again. The bolt banged against your end of the bridge. I can't take the shovel while the bridge is in that position. Turn the crank again. I wish I could figure out what to do next.
You've brought us this far.
The Terakotta soldier has stood watch for countless centuries. I can just see another staircase down there, and what looks like a door. I can't make out any way down to them.
Robert, it's magnificent. It's as if all of China were laid out before us.
The old Baron was right. This tomb deserves to be the 8th wonder of the world. Terracotta soldiers, but far more immense than any we've encountered so far. Each building has been carefully built to scale. The river is Mercury. Ancient China, lovingly recreated in miniature. Majestic mountains rise above incredibly detailed cities and farms. A dragon's head carved from marble. I wonder what function it serves. That lake is mercury. Thousands upon thousands of gallons of pure mercury. I can't reach the bottom, but I've learned what I needed to know. I won't be wading across the lake. Qinxia Huangdi's mausoleum. Even in death, he was an emperor of all he surveyed.
What on earth are you doing?
I'm not completely sure, but whatever it is, it appears to be working. Master Lu, you served the first emperor well. You may not have found the secret to eternal life, but you created an incredible monument befitting a man who wanted all history to begin with him. I salute you, Master Lu. Incredible! Master Lu's ingenious lighting system continues to illuminate even the farthest reaches of the tomb. Inside that magnificent sarcophagus rests the man who declared history would begin with him. The man who sent Master Lu on an incredible journey, combing the globe for the elusive elixir of life. The first Emperor's seal of office, at last. How much blood has been spilled by those who would use this? How much more will be spilled if it falls into the wrong hands? Master Lu, I understand you wanted the world to be united in peace and harmony before the first Emperor's seal was found. I'm sorry that hasn't happened. Our world is just as troubled as it was in your day. But if I leave the seal here, it will be used in the name of power and conquest and destruction. And I know that you didn't want that. On the other hand, I could leave it here. I have a bad feeling about this. One last secret of old Master Lu's. One we didn't uncover. Probably a last line of defense in case the world wasn't the serene place he envisioned when someone came for the seal.
But how...
May, talk later. Run now.
Game, set, and match, I believe. Keep perfectly still, Mr. Ripley. That goes for your charming companion as well.
Who is he, Robert?
Baron von Seltsam.
Yes, believe it or not.
No wonder you let me search your house for the key. I played right into your hands, didn't I?
You did my work for me. I am in your debt.
Why did your father hide the key from me?
We had a difference of opinion about the Emerald Seal. He was unwilling to put it into its proper use.
What good is the seal to you?
You're not one of those fascist fellows after all, are you?
Hardly. I'm very sincere in my desire to rid the world of Der Fuhrer. He doesn't have the competitive spirit necessary to win. Think about it, Mr. Ripley. That seal belonged to a man born into a time not unlike ours. A time of turmoil and division.
So, if another man possessed it, an opportunist...
A visionary. The old China is dead. The time is ripe for a new dawn in the East. Not a Nazi dawn, nor the rising sun of the Japanese.
You'd rather it was the rising sun of the old Baron.
I'm going to miss you. I really will. It has been an interesting contest. It is unfortunate you won't be around to witness my triumph. Now, you can hand me the seal, one gentleman to another, or I can remove it from your lifeless fingers.
Baron, you disappoint me. A sportsman like you, shooting an unarmed man and woman.
I confess to you, I sometimes also cheat at tennis. My line calls, whatever it takes to win. We seem to be running out of time. I have no desire to be trapped inside a giant thermometer. The seal, Mr. Ripley, if you please. You fool! You could have broken it!
Gosh, I'm glad you're good at that. A horrible way to go, even for someone like him.
And the Emerald Seal?
The first Emperor has reclaimed it, thanks to Master Lu. The Emerald Seal will be safer right where it is. Whatever happens in the dark days to come, it can't be used to tip the balance of power.
I'm very proud of you, Robert.
I couldn't have done it without you, May.
Thank you for helping my grandmother escape China.
I don't know what you mean. Is she safe?
Yes, with my aunt and uncle in London. And there's no use saying you had nothing to do with it.
Well, I didn't think it would hurt to make inquiries.
You arranged it all. Don't try to deny it. I know everything.
Well, gosh. It sure will be nice to be back in New York, won't it?
Yes, we can forget all about that troubled world down there. All the danger is behind us now.
There's a sub down there. They're shooting at us.
If they hit the hydrogen, we're doomed!
Bye.